Nazi.
You a Nazi?
Show it to you?
All right.
Every year I get it. As long as I don't commit adultery or steal anything.
Are we doing this for real?
NAZI, is it?
No.
You're whipping out a license for real?
Oh, they could get you something a little better than that.
I tried to put a
Somebody Skyping you?
I tried to
No,
put
that
the
means we're
stuff
live.
on it. What's that called?
You laminated it.
Laminated it.
Yeah.
couldn't
I love
find the word.
laminating. I bought my wife a laminator for Christmas, and I use a lot.
The front fell off though. The front of it came off.
I made some nice custom luggage tags with my laminator.
Nice.
I mean,
We could talk about custom luggage laminating
You want
tags.
to?
Let's do that. We'll start off with custom luggage laminators, since nobody really needs them now because nobody's going anywhere.
I didn't really dress to fit this chair.
No?
No,
You clashing?
I'm clashing
You
badly.
doing all right?
You want to trade?
Can we talk to? We need to talk to Melinda about this. She didn't plan on anybody wearing burgundy.
That's true.
But she is doing some really nice advertisements for us.
Oh.
Uneducated Fridays, right there.
All right, here you go, Dad. Here you go, Dad.
Fridays.
Side view of your fat son.
Are we on?
Oh. Not a crowd pleaser.
Not a
Ordinary
crowd pleaser.
people discussing
Extraordinary issues. That's a new tagline. Never heard that one before.
Wait, what'd you get?
Melinda, she went ahead
Already
and-
responded?
No, she put a. Are we online yet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're not live.
Going
Yeah.
out over there.
We're not.
Yeah.
Are we live?
No, this is perfect. This
Okay.
is the best show
We
we've
did
ever
a
had.
Skype call.
Oh.
since.
Okay. Well, she put on.
Skype call.
She put uneducated fry
And then days.
Days.
with a coffee mug in between, and then it says ordinary people discussing
Extraordinary issues.
Oh.
That's
Well,
a
that
new
kind of puts the
tagline.
pressure on, doesn't it?
It does, because I don't know of anything extraordinary going on today.
It's just like a regular Friday.
It
I
is.
went to Walmart and I wandered all the aisles and got all
Were
the
you
things I
were you
needed.
touching everything?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good. Nice. That
So
is
how-
not proper social distancing.
It's not.
Do you want to tell everybody good morning?
Yeah. Hey, good morning. This is Uneducated. It is Friday. It's 10:04 now, and we have been talking gibberish for the last 4 minutes.
Well, I got to tell you, it's probably the most exciting gibberish we've ever talked.
So you may have thought we were a charismatic church, but we're not. No, just joking.
I don't think it was tongues.
Just joking. I have friends that are charismatic, so they'll find that funny, I hope. If not, I don't have friends that are charismatic anymore. But this is Friday, Uneducated, and the reason we call this Uneducated is because you don't have to be educated to think seriously, rationally, and logically about the issues that are going on today in our world, as well as in the Bible. You just have to be sincere about it and want the truth. And so that's why we're here today. We're talking about truth, and we were going to talk about laminating things. Were we going to talk about laminating
It's a
stuff?
lot of fun. Do you have a laminator?
Yes, we laminate the snot out of things.
Yeah.
We laminate dirt bikes, princesses, coloring pages,
How
so
do
that
they
you
fit
could
through the flat
recolor
parts?
them. Well, we print them, and then they're paper.
Oh.
They're not real. Like we don't
Okay,
shove
I
a
thought you said
princess.
the dirt bike.
That would be
Or
interesting
dirt-
to see a dirt
That's
bike
what I
go
thought
through a
you had.
laminator.
No, if you want to preserve your things, shove it through a laminator.
Yeah.
It's like vacuum sealing in the wintertime.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So this is probably getting somewhere. We'll eventually bring this around about.
But Mitch, you said you like to laminate all of your tags.
I
for
made
your,
luggage tags last time we
tags.
traveled with the family. Yeah. I printed them out.
You're like a middle-aged man.
Yeah, it was great.
Look
I
at
put
you.
little borders on them.
Yeah. Now,
Do
what
you, got
was
peg,
steal
do, you
my
have peg,
bags.
do you have pegboard in your garage that you hang all your tools on and draw little outlines around them?
Yeah.
That's good.
Like
Perfect.
little chalk outlines.
Yeah.
And one of the things that would help is then when you sanitize those tags, it'd be a lot easier because you can't sanitize paper tags.
Well, I just lick them.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Why would you worry about sanitizing anything?
Yeah, I don't.
There's nothing to even worry
Do you
about.
put a little bit of bleach on your tongue before you lick them, or
No.
No?
No, no.
You just lick them
I
straight
want
out.
whatever goodness is on there.
Whatever he can handle.
Nice stuff. Well, so if you go from luggage tags and laminating dirt bikes, laminating things would be a good thing. So what Matt just said is it protects the stuff on the inside. So I'm wondering, like, have they found anything to protect us yet on the inside from disease and stuff like that? Have they found
Like
anything?
as far as a medical miracle?
Yeah, have they found
No.
anything? Nothing.
But I do know that you want to stay on all of your prescribed medicines
Okay.
and don't eat anything natural because it's not proven to actually work.
Okay.
That's the message that I get.
Oh, okay.
So I stay on all my synthetic drugs like a good boy.
Okay. And so actually what's interesting is if you go to the stores, you'll find that all the Stouffer's frozen meals are still there. You can get.
Are they really?
You can get frozen stuff. Like
I wouldn't
that.
think that would be a thing right now. I would think they'd be bought up.
Well, it might be now, but when we got there, like 3 days after the big horde thing happened, and we were looking just for some basic stuff that we wanted because we were like, okay, we're just coming for stuff we normally buy. All the people had bought like the healthy good stuff, and all that was left were like TV dinners. It was crazy.
That's really weird.
It was very weird.
Do you think people just buy TV dinners for their kids at school? Because we do.
No, I think people only think about their health when they're afraid of getting sick or going to die. Like they don't.
Well, that's not happening right now.
They're not proactive.
That's not happening now. So I would think that stuff would keep going.
Oh, you mean no one's afraid they're going to die right
No,
now?
there's nothing going on.
Nothing going on.
Nothing going on.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. So it's strange to me that you've made that observance.
Well,
But I will. Okay, so they still are, however, taking the little boneless chicken tenders at Walmart. They are ripping them off the shelves because I can't get them.
Oh.
Because my wife just figured out how to make it with the right amount of Cajun seasoning. Oh my gosh. You could go through a bowl of those like a wood chipper watching Alex Jones on a Friday night, like you wouldn't believe.
The boneless chicken tenderloins?
Yeah, they're
That's
like
good.
little, but they're like nuggets. They're like chicken
Little
tenders.
bits.
But they're a boneless chicken wing. They are scrumptious in Cajun. Oh my goodness! I'm sure that those are just as bad for you as a TV dinner. I guess that's where I'm going here. And so they're not keeping those on the shelves.
I did also read an article that says since all the sporting events are out, there is a glut of wings available.
There is.
Nobody's consuming wings.
I
we
saw that at
usually do
Walmart
because there's no
myself.
sporting events.
Bone in or
Bone in.
boneless?
Did you see it yourself?
I just read the article. It said there's a ton of wings available.
I saw it myself at Millville
So if you
Walmart.
invested heavy in wings, your portfolio's down.
Coolers in the Millfield Walmart, the whole end down by the milk, and then down the side, and then in the center aisle of the frozen goods, bone-in wings, bags and bags and bags of them.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, I can't stand wings because the skin really gets to me.
They're super high in calories.
That's
I love them.
They're like 200 calories per wing.
No, they're not.
They
It's
are.
like they're actually like 75.
Yeah.
If you eat them with just a dry rub.
All right, let me talk to Dr. Google about
You
this.
go ahead and talk to Dr. Google. If you put a sugary sauce on them, they're 100 to 130 a piece.
You're getting closer to the number, just so you know.
Yeah, if you put the sugary sauce. So if you do a dry rub, you're getting and you don't fry them, you can be as low as 75 to 80.
Because nobody ever fries them.
No, we put them in an air fryer.
Yeah. George Shackelford logged on today, and he says you fellows aren't 6 feet apart. And then
Yeah, we are.
We are.
face it.
It's the magic of TV.
Look
Yeah.
how far my arm is away, George.
Can't
Right.
even touch me.
And actually,
When did he become a follower of the rules?
you only need to be 6 feet apart from Matt. Everyone else. So I am at least 8 feet apart from Matt right now. So we're good. And Mitch, because he's got the same DNA as
He's fine.
Matt, he's
Yeah,
fine.
we can't make
Well,
each other sick.
yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I don't even know why we're having this conversation. So.
No, but I do have something I want to share with y'all this morning, and that is this: in a time of peculiar circumstances, confusion, and really just some messed up stuff that's going out in the world today. I mean, there's so much, and you wonder what to believe. And that's not just what's going on, like with our current situation, but everything. You know, one time someone tells you that eggs are good for you, the next time someone tells you they're not. One time someone tells you that it's good to get out and get a lot of sun, next time they say cover up every body part except for your eyeballs because you'll get skin cancer. And so nobody seems to know what's really best for you. But in the Word, it says in Isaiah chapter 26, I just want to read this to you real quick and get your thoughts or your feedback. In that day, this song will be sung in the land of Judah. We have a strong city. He sets up walls and ramparts for security. Open the gates that the righteous nation may enter, the one that remains faithful. The steadfast of mind you will keep in perfect peace, because he trusts in you. Trust in the Lord forever, for in God the Lord we have an everlasting rock. For he has brought low those who dwell on high, the unassailable city. He lays it low to the ground. He casts it to the dust. The foot will trample it, the feet of the afflicted, the steps of the helpless. So the key there is in verses 3 and 4. The steadfast of mind you will keep in perfect peace, because he trusts in you. So then he says, trust in the Lord forever, for in God the Lord we have an everlasting rock. And so to me, if people want to get themselves set straight in peace, get off of the news, stop listening to all the stuff, and just get into the Word.
Get out there, go to the stores, live life.
Oh dear.
Was that too far?
A little bit too far.
Okay, all right.
Be respectable. You know, if you got to, I mean, obviously you got to get stuff. April went to the store the other day because we needed, well, I don't know what we needed. Actually, we didn't need anything. She just went shopping. Never mind. I'm getting April.
You just
trouble.
outed yourself.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
You now have to quarantine yourself for 14 days,
14
if that were a thing.
So every time you
But
go
the
out,
state
you have to
line.
come back and quarantine for 14
If
days?
you cross the state line.
Yeah, now if you cross the state line.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't do that.
Yeah, you're good.
No, you're fine. Unless you live on the state line.
State line or county line? Because she
Nope.
did go into Portage County, I think.
Well,
It's state line.
We may narrow it down to counties.
So if you live on the state line, though, you don't have to worry about that.
It's true.
You have an immunity. You have state line immunity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it
You
works.
can't go super deep into the other state.
Dr. Acton, she told us.
If you stay in your own state, you're okay.
Yeah.
Well, but if you live on a state line, you have the germs from both states.
Yeah, but you can't go real deep into the other state.
No, you can't, because now you don't have the
It's
right.
like 10 mile
No,
radius.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right, let me ask you. So,
This is like not taking firewood past a certain place because the bugs know.
Right, the
county
bugs know
lines.
where to stop.
that's
Yeah,
true.
they know.
They do. Bugs are smart like that.
If you transport them, they go, okay, game on.
That's true.
All right, what do you got, Brian?
Well, I was going to ask you boys, you both have children. And so because of this, don't be thinking tax return or don't be thinking stimulus. I'm not going there with this with your children. You had children for a good reason. That is to teach them how to live life in Christ. So
Was that the point?
Yes, that's
one
one
of
of the
the
I
points.
literally was just looking at military.
I really was. Just
saying.
I was like, this is a good gig.
But let me ask you the question. April has been putting together a weekly kind of devotional thing. Have you guys been getting those, and do your kids enjoy them at all? What's been going on with that?
I haven't seen anything.
No?
Is it going out over the church page?
Yeah, it should be emailed to you, and then April will be dropping off a package. Some people got their packages because we either ran into them or I think Kathy came over to the house the other day.
My
and
children
April
have
gave
been
hers.
enjoying all of the festivities, and
I'm not going to say that we do or don't have it. I don't know.
Okay, so you may have it. Maybe Corey could log on and let us know what's
She
going
was
on in
on
your household.
YouTube.
Maybe she could let us know what's going on in your household since you don't know.
it's been working out, and they've enjoyed it.
Okay, good. Just want a little feedback because we haven't heard from anybody to know.
Melinda
I don't so much enjoy it
Westenfelder.
because it's, Dad, can I have this? Where's that? I need scissors. I need a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no.
got an activity.
You,
Yeah,
you
that's
gave
right.
And
the
I really
parents
don't need any more activities.
an activity.
So what you're saying is April's causing you a lot of problems.
Well, no.
Melinda
just
says
saying.
yes, and we love them.
All of the functions that usually get filled in
Good morning,
one room
Naomi.
back there, I now take
Hi,
them
Brandon.
Oh, gotcha.
Good morning, Lisa. Hi, Bob Hanasowski. Haven't seen you in a while, buddy.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you, Bob. Bob, you want to make a shout out to that person that dropped some stuff off on your doorstep? No, don't do that.
Can we
not do this?
Can we invite like 2 other people to church because we're allowed to have 10 people?
7, 8, 9. We could get 3
What? Should we
There's
have
only
a
7 of us,
rotation
right?
schedule?
of people that could come.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should we have
Can
like
we
one
do-
family
can
could
we
come
do
to church
that?
a
But that's
week?
only if they're able to run stuff, because we only have people here that can run stuff. Like we have the people in the back are
Well,
running
yeah,
video.
listen, we need someone to manage that pew row, and that pew row.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
could
So
be
the
pew
remaining
row
3
managers.
spots
Yeah.
Right.
could just be people that come and
Right.
hang out.
Well, no, they're managing those pew rows.
It's a good idea. Then I would have somebody to look at other than just the camera.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or
before-
call him and I out and playing on our phones. Right?
Yeah,
Vincent?
I'm going to ask a serious question here. Exactly, you know that is a little bit disrespectful to the watching audience. If I were to turn the camera on you and they were to see you, they would feel really horrible.
Well, joke's on you. I was blue letter Bibling it. Oh.
I'm just checking my Craigslist
Yeah.
sales.
Uh-huh.
all the things that you got to buy that $12,000 boat that's a wreck.
Right. Yeah. 35 nautical miles.
Yeah. Well, straight up, my boys are just on there looking at cars and guns and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
That's good.
yeah. They don't
They're
even try
learning to
hide
be
it.
little Soviet traders. It's perfect.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm glad that they're liking that. One of the things that April and I have been doing is we went and purchased a book by John Stone Street, who's part of the Colson Center thing. He does I don't know what that show is now. I can never remember that. And he's got a co-author that did it. But I think it's called Navigating Through the Culture or something like that. But it's a student's guide, and I think there's about 10 chapters in there. And he just addresses the way the world has been shaping us as young people, and the older people are being shaped also, but the young people, that's all they've known. They've been shaped by this tech generation that they got this information coming at them at lightning speed. That's all they see and hear, and then there's so little of God's wisdom coming into their lives. And so we got 2 copies of this book, and we read it together each night for devotion, a chapter, and then we talk about it and talk about whatever the scriptures say in it and stuff. And I think it was 2 nights ago, they were talking about addiction and everything. And today, like young people, I mean, obviously we always thought it was cool to drink or to smoke pot or do whatever. And some of us did, some of us didn't, some of us waited till we got to college, but most of us at least did it or tried it, But today they're saying that kids are actually smoking marijuana at a higher rate because of all these states that have now legalized it. So even in places where it's not legalized, they're smoking it because they think it's cool. They think it's the thing to do. And not only is it a gateway drug, but they're finding that it's altering kids' state of mind where it's becoming even addictive to the point where, so if they can't have it, like they think it takes them to another place, so they get out of their world that they don't like and they're depressed in. But then they find out that it only helps for a little bit. And so it's actually causing more mental issues and physical issues than they expected. Mm-hmm. So I think they said, like in Colorado, where it's legalized, they actually saw a spike in people going to the hospital for physical and psychological issues because of this kind of thing. Any thoughts on that?
But I don't see it as any different than alcoholism or any kind of binge-worthy problem, because I do know people that regularly smoke where it's legal, and they function okay. Like,
as far as you know.
As far as I know, yeah. No, listen, it's on a world standard.
Right.
Yeah, spiritually,
right.
Whatever. But they're not like they haven't tripped into any other drugs. It doesn't take them into any other drugs. It hasn't. I mean, because you can say that about smoking. You can say that about just about anything.
Well, yeah, because I talked to boys about that too.
I think if you just have an addictive personality, it just it depends on how bad your need to feel good is. So if you're a person that just has a habit, then it's just a habit.
Right.
Right?
You weren't born with it.
No. Yeah, right. We're born into sin.
Right.
So, I mean, technically, I think that you are.
Yeah, and so somewhere you grab that part of sin. That habit.
Excuse me, still have that one once in a while.
At least he's coughing that way.
That way.
So now the drums are going to be infected,
Mitch.
on
Sunday. It's great.
Nice.
So I guess it really just comes down to how you are mental health wise, that you don't love you worship yourself so much so that you don't love yourself, that you crave that next good feeling, and depending on how strong that is, you start looking for heavier and heavier and heavier stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I'm sure that there are people who started out smoking as an early teenager and then was on to marijuana and then alcohol and then, meth and heroin and all the stuff. But then I think there are people who just have a habit. They're not... It fills a mechanical hole, or it fills a something in their life, and they can stop there, I guess. I'm trying to find a good word to say, but I think some people can control where they are. They need that thing.
Right.
Somebody likes chocolate, so they eat chocolate once a month.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like that is their thing. Or they have a bowl of ice cream every night.
Yeah. Oh, I know some people that do that.
Well, I guess this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
People have everybody's got a thing.
Yeah.
And it becomes to what level is the guy eating a bowl of ice cream every night end up as a heroin addict?
Right.
I think it depends on how much he needs to serve himself and how good those things make him feel.
Yeah, and if he's not finding meaning and purpose in something grounded in reality.
Well, yeah, this removes all spiritual aspects of
Right,
it. This is
right.
just
You're talking the
human
physical.
nature.
Yeah.
Human nature.
Yeah, because I like to try and get in 6 to 8 glasses of water a day.
I have a mason jar.
Do you have a mason jar?
No, you do.
You do.
Oh, yeah.
We saw your mason jar.
I wonder if anybody thinks they have, like, shine in there when I drink that.
Listen, if you want to prove that you don't, put the lid on it and shake it.
Oh, because moonshine will what?
Bubble.
Oh,
It'll get bubbles.
okay.
Water won't pump?
No. Well, unless you got gross water.
I could freak people out and put carbonated water in there.
You could freak people out and put Farmington water in there.
Yeah.
I could, yeah, because then they wouldn't see bubbles; they would see stuff floating.
No, they would look like Back to the Future 3 water.
Yeah,
When Marty McFly's sitting at the table.
Bacteria backstroking.
Now, Carol made a comment. She said, "Just be sure that people know that fentanyl is being put in marijuana," and they did mention that in the book. That today, a lot of our drugs are being laced with stuff that people don't know about. So. You do have to be aware of that, especially young people. They think they're getting stuff. Like, I've heard this comment from young people that so-and-so can get stuff, and I trust them because they know what they're getting is good. It's clean. I'm like, you don't know squat what you're getting.
Well, this is why this is why we have an FDA, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So
You can't even trust the meat that you're getting is what you know.
well, that's
say
why
is.
that's why you want to soak it in bleach
You
first.
don't want to do that.
You don't want
That's
to.
not proper.
That's
cooking
not what you do.
technique.
Oh,
Yeah, like everybody that's listening today, do you know that Mitch saw something? Was this online, Mitch?
Mitch's wife saw
Oh, Mitch's wife saw. Can you tell us what your wife
that
saw?
people are unpackaging meats because you're supposed to wipe all your groceries and disinfect them now and whatever because of whatever's going on. I don't know. I've heard something's going on.
something's going around.
Anyway, they'll soak their meats in bleach and or wash it with dishwashing liquid before they put it away.
And I asked him, you're talking about when it's inside the package, right? And he said,
No. She said no.
that's crazy that people would be that silly or foolish to think that the virus would be less detrimental than bleach on your meat. Although,
Don't bleach your meat.
can I just say something? They do in
They
most,
do bleach your meat.
Yes, they do.
No, they do.
No, I hear you. But
In
you
order to
shouldn't
kill
do it.
Ebola, E. coli.
So they say.
So they say. Yeah.
It wouldn't be to kill. It wouldn't be to ruin humanity's immunity.
No.
In case something came along down the river.
It wouldn't be.
Say a pandemic.
No, they wouldn't think that far ahead.
No, nobody would think that far.
Not
ahead.
at all.
I
No.
don't
But
think
you
we'll
think
ever
it-
I don't think we'll ever see one of those in our lifetime.
No, I think we're okay.
A pandemic?
Yeah.
No.
I don't
No,
think
we
anything
won't.
like that'll happen.
Just endemic, not a pan.
Yeah.
Melinda said, "Eat chocolate once a month." Ha 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 ha.
More like
several
times a day.
I think you have a problem, Linda.
Melinda, we would like to talk about your addiction.
Yeah. And if you want to share, just go ahead and share concerning your addiction.
It could be the flavonoids in the chocolate that are causing her this elated feeling. We might need to get you some chocolate that doesn't have flavonoids in it.
Well, this is a problem. I think all of the help centers are closed right now.
That's true.
You're not going to be able to get in
Yeah,
and
that's
get
true.
attention.
Yeah, that is true.
How about those black bean brownies?
Now that's some good stuff. I haven't made those in a while, but
This
now
is
that
good
you
stuff.
say
You
that,
just
I might
kicked
make some.
Brian off to go home and make them.
I
Yeah,
know.
I am. I'm going to go and
You
make
just fed his addiction.
Yeah.
Like that.
However, if I'm going to make them, I finished the last of my organic cacao powder. So that would mean I'd have to go into the
The
germ-infested Walmart and get my cacao powder.
Why is Walmart germ infested?
Well, it's
Any
bigger
more
and
than
it's
normal.
scarier. It's bigger building, a lot more people, and it's scarier to go in there.
Okay. I hope Walmart doesn't sue our church. I don't think it's germ infested.
It's not.
Well, I have to
Again,
be
so
very
it's-
Hey, after last week, I'm being very careful about what we say around here.
We seriously
This is a
think
good side of
Walmart cares about the 4 people we influence?
Yeah. No, listen, if you stop those 4 people and then those 4 people
Stop
stop
4
4 people, it turns into like almost like a growing thing, like a sickness that spreads. But I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Naomi says, I'm still doing video sessions.
Video sessions.
Like shopping?
Virtual shopping on video? Do we know?
Or
Virtual chocolate?
maybe
eating?
she's...
Oh, I see. Naomi, you mean video like camera and stuff work that she does, right? Is that
Yeah.
what she's talking about?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, that's good. Somebody's got to keep working.
Right, Naomi. Somebody's got to keep this.
Somebody's got to
going.
prop this economy up.
Yeah. So keep doing your video sessions. Just make sure you're 6 to 12 feet away. And in between there, I would keep some kind of, like, can you get, like, large sheets of saran wrap and put them, like, hang them, I would say.
Hang them.
We took those Glade misters and filled them with Lysol. Those ones that like this every so often, and we put them at the doors. So they're motion activated. When you walk in, it goes.
Oh, my goodness.
No.
Perfect.
It's a good idea. Though.
No, it is a good idea. Somebody should do that.
Oh, they're seeing patients via video. I get what you're saying. Yeah, well, that would make sense. And I don't think any of that stuff needs to stop. So that would be a good idea. Because Naomi, when she was with us, last summer? This past summer?
Yeah, I can't believe that's how fast that's
Isn't
going.
that crazy?
Yeah.
She works with a doctor who deals with people
And addictions.
who have addictions and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, now I'm on board.
Yeah, because you said you can't get that kind of help right now.
Right.
Yeah. Naomi, if you could just speak to this, what are your thoughts? We heard Matt saying that
pretty much you can just smoke pot and it's okay for you.
Oh my
but
goodness,
I
no, I did not say that. I just said I know people.
But Naomi, what are your thoughts on that whole gig going on?
We'll
And,
wait for your answer.
This isn't an I'm asking for a friend and the friend is you, is it?
Maybe.
Oh, you mean me?
No, when he says I know people.
I'm asking for a.
I'm
I'm asking for a friend.
Gotcha. Yeah. That stuff's not mine.
It's not my stuff.
I'm just holding it for my friend.
I don't know how that got in my car.
Yeah.
We need like elevator hold music while you're waiting for her to come back to you.
Where
Yeah,
we should
that's
sit here
true.
in silence while we're waiting for her answer.
But that would be
That would be really
That
good.
would be
FCC
awkward.
doesn't allow that kind of dead
No,
air
they
time.
I hope we're still streaming because my phone says it's choking. What is your phone?
No, we're streaming
Okay.
on. Yeah,
All right.
we've got 9 people watching, and we're streaming still on
All right.
Facebook.
My phone's
so
choking.
I think we're good.
I'm gonna pretend to do something on my phone. Do it back.
Why is Jared Kushner in charge of anything? That's the hard-hitting New York Post article today.
So I wanted to throw this out too. When we were talking about addictions and stuff, why is it so hard to get our kids, and think back to when we were, why is it so hard to get our kids addicted to Jesus and the Bible, and yet all the physical stuff, all the material stuff is just like, it's just easy. I mean, you could get a kid addicted to your TV quick as quick, right? I mean, just turn it on. And
You don't
they're
have
in
to
it.
get them anything. My kids know how to do wrong. Like, all I have to do is leave a room.
So you're saying that the reason that we can't get the human race to get addicted to Jesus is because we're just addicted to sin, period. So to get back to being addicted to Jesus,
Our flesh, left unattended, hates God.
that's a good point. That's a harsh way to put it, but that's a good way.
Well,
to
it's
put
the
it.
truth.
Uh-huh.
Because you don't have to teach a kid how to do anything wrong.
No, I haven't had to teach mine any of them, and I always go, where did you learn that? 'Cause we're gonna
It's so
shut
true.
that off.
It's so true.
They're like, oh, I don't know.
And then you walk away and do
Yeah.
it. No, that's where we learned it.
Oh,
No, I'm
that's
just
fair.
joking.
Oh.
I'm just joking.
No, listen, I do hear them running around yelling at each other and going, oh, this is what I sound like.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's really neat to watch other parents get really angry with their kids.
I think it's hilarious.
It is, because then I go, oh man, I'm glad it's just not me now.
I told my cousin the other day, I'm like, we should trade kids because I think it's hilarious when yours are doing these things, and you think it's hilarious when mine are doing these things. So if we watch each other's kids,
yeah, if we watch
we're
each
not
other's
gonna care.
kids, No,
Yeah.
this is brilliant.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
We'll be like,
Because
no.
like when it's your own kids, you're like, you know better than that.
But if it's your
But if
other,
it's somebody else, it's like, that's hilarious.
did you just burn my barn down? That's hilarious.
You know what I found? Here's what happened to me over time, because God was always convicting me, because I would have these outbursts of anger with my kids, because I would go and I would discipline them and I would stop it, but sometimes it gets so wearisome that you're like, oh my goodness, I'm just tired, you know.
No,
And so
they
then
wear
you
you
stop,
down.
and then they push you to the point where you just blow up, you know. So I got to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm tired of blowing up. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be screaming and yelling all the time. So all of a sudden, one day, God like made it clear to me that there was someone else's kids were around and they were doing something they weren't supposed to be. And when I went over to correct them, I did it in such a calm, nice, compassionate way, and they listened to me. And I thought to myself, I wonder if my kids would do that.
No, but
They
your
won't.
kids would listen to someone else.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is how this
No, this is a
works.
principle of children.
Yeah.
This
I
is
mean,
your okay.
No, I like
This is an observation in life.
because
It goes all the way back to our dad.
I have a lot of the same thoughts. Like I literally get tired of blowing up all the time, but it's like constantly everything in our house is being destroyed on a minute by minute basis. And it's like
How many times when we were kids did Dad say, "Well, you'll listen to so and so, but you won't listen to anything I say"?
all the time.
All the time. And now it's a universal truth
Yeah.
at this point.
Well, that's
why you felt like you were winning. And this goes to his point. We should swap kids around.
Switch kids around.
Okay. But how are we going to do that? There's 3. It doesn't seem to work.
No, the math
I'll
is-
take your kids. You can take his kids. He'll take my kids. There.
Yeah, because your kids are pretty calm.
Done and done.
They are pretty calm unless they lose their mind. I mean, I don't know. You haven't seen us in our wild element.
Yeah.
You know, like I have very little untouched drywall. If that makes
No,
any
it's
sense.
true.
Like, I look around and I'm like, man, I'm glad I redid this, so you could just tear it all down in
Destroy
front
it.
of my eyes.
I'm glad I didn't fix my house up at all because they were doing all the demo work for me.
No,
That's
it's
good.
crazy.
That's good.
But you know, all right. So I think kids are like they're like a perfect reflection of our lives. Most of it's miserable, but there's these bright, shining moments where you're like, remember that? Remember when that happened?
Yeah.
That's like my children on the day to day are just like, ugh. But like last night, I came in and my number 2, Zia, she put a little piece of paper down and she says, from Zia, don't touch Daddy. These are Daddy's. And there was a little plate of cookies in there she saved for me.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah. You know, you get those moments where you're like, oh, they're just adorable.
Or they
Yeah.
put a little picture on your pillow and you go to bed and you're like, oh, there's a little picture.
Yeah. You know, there's things like that. Or,
So nice.
you know, there's a little, but then other times just like, can you guys just go outside?
Yeah, the other
Just
7,
go
8 of the
outside.
time- like this morning, we're all sitting there. Inevitably, one of them will talk. So then the other 3
Have to pipe up.
think that we have to also voice everything we're feeling at the moment.
yeah.
So it ends up in 8 more hours of talking all day.
Or just like this,
Can I have this? Can I have that?
yeah, it's like an explosion
Yeah.
of what I can do for you now.
Right.
Is this mostly the girls?
No, it's all of it.
Really?
It doesn't matter.
Because our boy, well, Nathan likes to talk a lot. He'll talk, but he'll shut down after a little bit. But Brian's not a talker at all, so
Yeah.
we're pretty even keeled.
No, it's
Doesn't go too
it's
long.
nonstop. Mine all try to outdo each other, and it gets crazy quick.
Okay, so we got our answers and we're not paying attention.
All right, go for it.
Naomi says the Americans, like, I'm not sure which one came first, but I'm going to read top to bottom. The American Psychiatric Association's position statement begins, there is no current scientific evidence that marijuana is in any way beneficial for the treatment of any psychiatric disorder. Extensive laboratory, clinical, and epidemiological evidence, if this is Dr. Fauci, well, we won't go there, connects marijuana use to cognitive impairment, and both clinical and epidemiological data link it to psychosis. So that tells me that it's
Not
it's
good.
bad.
It's not good for you.
Yeah.
So,
But what about like the CBD?
but why?
oil?
Why?
Well, it's not supposed to have the THC.
That doesn't have the THC.
No, I understand.
So you're getting
Yeah.
the good parts.
But it's all it's the same. It's the same kind of thing of you're talking about making.
But why did
black
so?
bean
Why did we
brownies
make
out of the
it?
cocoa plant and whatever, and then
Yeah.
you can also make other bad things out of these plants.
You can make bad things out of black bean brownies.
No, the
The cacao? That's just chocolate.
No, I understand.
Oh.
I'm talking. What's the other plant? The cocaine plant.
Cocoa
Oh, the
plant.
poppy seeds?
No,
No,
cocoa plant.
yeah.
Poppy seeds is heroin.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But poppy seeds are
You
good.
can see that we're all very well versed in our drugs.
Well, but, all right, which proves our point that we don't.
Everything has like a good use.
We just
and
find that. We
you
know
can
it.
find the bad thing to do with it.
Right.
I guess was where I was going with
Yeah.
this in my.
And,
Listen.
and the part of the problem is, like Matt said, is that left to our own devices, we hate God and
We
we're
hate
going to
God.
do the bad stuff.
You'll find the bad thing.
Yeah, we'll find
really
bad
easy.
stuff.
Like a hammer is a pretty effective killing device.
I hadn't heard that.
Oh, you should try it.
No. Nobody wants to try that. That is gruesome.
I saw.
Could you imagine like having a little tack hammer or a rubber hammer?
Oh, ice pick.
Rubber hammer would be really bad.
Or like
Ooh.
like one of those big blow up hammers, like a sporting event. That you together. And it goes
yeah,
ding, ding.
that's the hammer you want right there.
I saw a meme that said, "My wife loves me so much, and she wants to protect me from the virus. She held a pillow over my head as tightly as she could all night to try and protect me."
That's good. That's good.
It's Bob Hanshouse. He says peer pressure from the other kid plays a big part.
That's true, and it's not even just kids; it's adults too. I mean, I think adults, same thing. I mean, because sometimes we never grow up, and we never get to the point where we are okay with ourselves and who we are. We always feel like we've got to be somebody else for somebody else.
Well, can we be honest? The peer pressure thing doesn't go away.
No, it doesn't.
We as adults want to out-adult each other. Like we still do this.
Right.
And Facebook was invented.
And Facebook.
This is true.
My wife says it's the toddlers that can be crazy, but the older ones are calm for the most part. Well, I guess you forget about Zia doing gymnastics inside the kitchen, my love.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
goodness.
And the fact that
She's gonna bring down our 55-inch TV.
Yeah.
That's on a wall mount.
Yeah, and here's the other thing you got. Once the kids get bigger, you're talking like a lot more expensive issues when the kids fall into walls and stuff. Like Brian and Nathan tried to wrestle me here, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and so it takes almost everything I got to just keep both of them at bay enough, and then finally I'm like, this has got to stop because I can't breathe anymore. You know, I'm done.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, stop. We take a break or whatever. And so then it was yesterday. Nathan decides he wants to mess around. And now that we're in the house all day long, he just constantly like, I got to walk through a doorway and he's got to be on top of me, like wanting to wrestle me. And I'm like, so yesterday he was trying to get to me.
It's like you
and-
got some giant puppies.
Oh my goodness. So he takes me and he throws me against the couch, and I really wasn't paying attention, so I lost my balance. I go, and then he jumps on me. Well, this time Nathan's a bigger boy now.
Yeah.
So he's on top of me and I'm laying like this, so I don't have any way to push because my arms are forward and my legs are forward, and he starts wrapping his arm around my neck and like trying to choke me out.
He's gonna choke
and
you
stuff.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going for the kill.
Let's go for the super hug.
So I get my hand just enough in to keep it pried away because I know I'm strong enough to pry that away, but I still can't get up. You know, because the couch is like deep. So I'm in this couch. He's on top of me. I can't get up. And so he's spouting all these words like, "Oh, come on, try to get me now. Oh, I don't think you're strong enough." And I'm sitting there going, and so then I literally did. I tried to get up like 3 times, and I can't.
But now you don't want to tell them that you can't.
No, not at all. So I go, you know what? I said, I'm going to break out here in a second. When I do.
Real trouble.
And the whole time, the only thing I've got on me is my hand in between his arm and my throat, keeping his arm away from my throat. And that's starting to close up because
I think he's actually affecting my esophagus.
Oh my goodness, it was terrible. So then finally I slid out from underneath him, which I didn't want to do because I had to go past all kinds of body parts, and he hasn't showered, for a while because we're at home. So I had to go past all kinds of things, and so I finally got past him and threw him into the couch and stuff. And then I said, "Okay, this is over." And then we got in trouble because my wife was on a phone call with her mom and dad, and it was like a FaceTime
Right.
thing. And she's like, "You two are so disrespectful."
There's like a zoo going on behind.
I know.
Yeah.
So this is what's happening.
No, that's like our house, though. That's our house.
Yeah.
I mean, you try and get on a Skype with the grandparents, and they all go, "Hi."
Look what I can do.
Look what I could do.
Yeah.
But I said all that to say now the couch looks like this.
Well, I was
it's
waiting
got a
for you to
hole
tell
in it,
me
you
that
know.
something cracked.
Well, it is cracking. I mean, I don't know that we did anything specific to it this time, but you can see from all that kind of stuff going on, the couch is starting to
Well,
just
if
shift.
your couch is older than a year old, it's pretty much junk anyway.
It's
'Cause
not.
they don't make fun.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Well,
I know what you're saying.
you can
Yeah.
make all the excuses that you want,
Yeah.
but here's where I'm at is they do all that stuff and then they leave. Like, what do you got with Nathan? 4 more years? See, that couch is going to be laying flat in your living room,
Right.
and he's going to be like, all right, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
We're going to go to college. You grow up. We'll see you. So you're going to be like, awesome. All that's going to be left is a smoking pile
Yeah, that's
of
when you
embers.
rebuild.
That's when you rebuild.
Yeah.
Well, it was great too because Brian then one day he wanted to wrestle me, so he got in and we started wrestling. We didn't go couch, but we were at the floor, right? And it's about everything I can do now. And you got to be quick enough to not get yourself in a bad position. Because if you get yourself in a bad position, then you're done.
Yeah.
Now you're just using your wisdom as a street fighter. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I've told my boys this over and over again. I said, listen, you don't get it. Your dad is not only wrestling and trying to keep himself not from getting trapped or pinned, but I'm also looking out that you don't get hurt.
Destroy
at the same,
everything
yeah,
and
and
hurt
destroy
yourself.
stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway,
And they
no.
go, loser.
Yeah, right. They're like,
What are you, a wimp? What are you, a weenie?
So I did everything I could, like wrestling with Brian, and so I'm like winning, and we're only like maybe 2 or 3 minutes into it, and finally I'm like, stop, we gotta stop, because I literally could not breathe after that. I mean, like 3 minutes, because when you're trying to keep yourself, I mean, you're going like 100%, and it used to be I would go half or 3/4, and now I'm at that point where I'm at 100%, and I can only last about 3 minutes.
You're working on fight or flight.
He's at
Right.
he's at 22.
right.
He's wrestling you and looking at his phone.
No, it wasn't. No, he had to give it all, but
Okay.
and he couldn't completely conquer me. So here's the deal: if you're a parent
And you have a child
I'll
that
be there in
is
30 minutes.
is older and getting to the point where they're stronger than you, you got to take them out quick.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You
and,
can't mess around anymore.
and like I said, now you're on your wisdom of
Yeah.
what you know works because
Yeah.
they're dumb.
Right.
Right? They're really strong, but they're not smart because they haven't been around a while. Now you're using your years of experience of being around a while. That's
Yeah.
all you really got.
Well, if you want to, you guys should stop by the garage. I have a wrestling mat out there.
Oh.
Yeah. We
But
could,
can you make sure that they only go like 1.5 sessions?
oh yeah, we can time it and do all. We
Okay.
could be legit.
All right.
But and you're gonna have to walk through the Lysol misters.
That's all right.
Can we bring
That
our
means you're safe.
our own Clorox wipes and wipe
Of
everything down?
course.
Whatever you
But
need.
no, like I put
you need to
those
feel
wrestling
safe.
mats in the garage, and my kids will still wrestle around the living room. And I'm like, guys, we've got like a whole area dedicated to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice that you have a dedicated. See, I've always thought if I had a dedicated area, that would be great. But then if I did, they probably wouldn't want to. Like you said, they won't want to do that.
No,
still do
they
it
wouldn't.
They still do it everywhere else too.
Yeah.
Right. No, the best place, like you can have a trampoline or a pool or an area for them to jump, but the best place toddlers want to jump is on their bed and your bed.
Yeah.
I mean, there is nothing more fun. They could do it for hours.
Yeah.
Well, listen. I know that probably some of you are saying, "Well, man, we're listening to these silly guys talk about all this silly stuff." But you know what? The fact of the matter is that this isolation, which probably seems really bad to most people, is exactly what our kids and what we as parents need. We may see it as somewhat of an inconvenience in some ways, but it has been good to wrestle with my boys again. It has been good to have time to sit and hang out. And whether we see it as an inconvenience or not, our kids need that. Our kids should not be socially distant from us as parents. And usually with the busyness of society and everything that's happening, they are. And now we're getting this opportunity. And I got to be honest, I enjoy it. I really like it.
That's good. I hope you enjoy it in the Great Depression.
Yeah, it's having the opposite effect at my house.
It is?
Yeah, because we normally get that time together always.
okay.
And being allowed to go out to places and do things is kind of our
The reprieve?
break of
Okay.
So now those things are all shut down.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. If you want to go out to eat some night, come over to our place. We'll set everything out on the porch.
Yeah,
You guys we'll bring the food out. You can eat out there. You won't be allowed in the house.
of course not.
But, we could do that.
No, I've thought about this. Why don't we? Like, it's getting nights out. Have people come over and sit outside and eat.
Yeah, why not? What's wrong with that?
If we're all so far apart
6 feet apart.
and there's only 10 of us,
Yeah.
should be down.
How do you keep the
I
kids
just
from
wanna
being 6
say-
feet apart?
If this doesn't follow within federal guidelines, I don't agree with it. I would never say anything against our overlords.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because everybody's advocating now the drive-in churches, and I had a couple people ask me about drive-in churches here.
Which
and
I find so silly. But anyway,
It is. It's kind of going, oh, we got to figure out a way to do this when we already.
I
kinda
want
have a way,
okay.
but-
It would be
Go ahead.
awesome. I want to see when they do it in the rain. I want a rainy day with a thunderstorm. If they're doing it, God bless them.
Well, you know that one of the ways they're doing it is churches are spending like $400 or $500 on an AM transmitter, and they're transmitting everything to the people's
No.
cars, just like a drive-in theater.
Stop it.
No, that's what they're doing.
Really?
But why bother leaving your house when you already have all this?
I agree. I agree.
Like, if you're already going to keep yourself separated by cars.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I guess was so silly, because then I think the temptation is there just to get out of your car and go visit with people. Hey, Ted, well, let me just come over there because the pastor's trying to talk. I'll meet you at your car.
I can't hear you over my AM radio.
I can't hear you over this pastor talking.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, that was one of the issues that they were having. We had actually had a church on a district that said they did it for 2 weeks. They had to shut it down because people were getting out of their cars, going over to other people's cars, shaking hands.
It just makes sense.
And it makes it a legal nightmare because, someone
You're
watching.
inviting them to come do this,
Yeah.
and then they're doing things they shouldn't be doing.
And someone gets sick, and all of a sudden now the church is the bad people.
Because let's face it, this time is making humans unhuman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right.
Everything is set up to be antithetical to what the human wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
We want to talk to one another, touch one another, socialize, eat together. We are built to socialize, right? Most of us. And, we are being engineered or forced to not be that way right now.
Yeah.
So if you put everybody in a parking lot, it's just going to happen.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Or, like, you run into Walmart, and everybody's standing in the parking lot talking or in the store talking.
Right.
They're just doing it there instead of being allowed to go to a restaurant or do whatever.
Which I just want to reiterate, I find Walmart to be extremely clean and a nice environment.
The nice vagabond boy was still outside the Aldi strumming his guitar this past week.
Was that the one that used to be in front of the Circle K?
Yeah, I guess he goes around Millfield.
Really?
Apparently, that's what my wife said.
There's some guy that goes around Middlefield.
He
playing
plays guitar?
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw him in front of Circle K.
He's got an electric amplifier. And guitar.
Oh, he upgraded because it was acoustic.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, he was electric. Do, 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 do.
It's probably what he used his stimulus check on.
They haven't come
He
yet.
got his already?
I don't know. 3 weeks they'll be here.
Oh, it's terrible.
Are we losing people?
No, we still got 10. Oh, we actually have 10 watching now, not 9.
We have 10,
8.
and the YouTube's has 3.
All right. Well,
Boys, do you have anything you wanted to talk about? I just got a text from Phyllis Thomas, which is Ralph's wife, and she said, we'd like to invite you, which means me, and now I'm doing this live, so anybody that wants to. But at 12 o'clock every day, it says we won't be together, but at 12 noon to pray for coronavirus and medical personnel and all those people on the front lines. So if you know what, here's the thing: if they're praying, you don't have to know about it. But at noon today, you could pray. You could just set some time aside at noon and pray, and everybody band together and pray. I think that might be a good thing. So thank you, Phyllis, for inviting me, and I just invited other people to pray as well.
And we should pray for our leaders,
Yeah.
and we should pray for all the people who are out of work.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of people to pray for.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a unprecedented situation.
Definitely.
People trapped at home with their children, as we just described.
Yes, and being pinned to the couch, not being able to get up.
Possibly being choked out.
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared for our pastor.
I am too. If you don't show up on Sunday,
Well, they're going to know why.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
going
a
straight to
mystery.
Brian and Nathan.
Trust me, I still got enough in me that if I have to, I'll get out of that.
Listen, if you just, they make those little, what do they call those?
Stun guns?
Gallop rods?
Word.
Near.
No. What do they call those little sticks? Remember? Jeff was into them. Jeff Zerke? The little clubs.
Oh, like the Billy Club thing?
Cuba tons?
Yeah.
It's something like that. You need something like that. Or if you have brass knuckles.
Oh, that would hurt though.
Oh, well, you just grind them in. No, I'm not advocating that you punch them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, grind it into
Well,
their
if I have
spine.
to, here's what I know. If I have to, what I do is I take any finger of mine and I just begin
Really
to
shove
jam,
it in
I just
something?
begin to jam it in the chest or somewhere
Yeah.
in the leg, and
Right.
they usually move.
But see, this is your wisdom coming out.
Yeah.
They're like, what is that maneuver?
Well, that hurts. I'm getting out.
Yeah. Whoa, I didn't realize I could get pain from this.
Yeah. This never hurt before, Dad.
Yeah, Dad. Well, this used to be tickles. What's happening?
You protected my noggin.
It's funny because my son came in this morning and he likes me to tickle him, and he gives me hugs and says good morning, and I'm hugging him. I'm like, oh, we got to get this in now, son, because you're going to be too big. I've already got like Zoe will come jump on me. It's similar to what you're saying, and maybe this is where the girls go. Zoe would come in and jump on me on the chair, and I'm like, what, are you trying to kill this chair? Because like she still thinks she's tiny, and she's like flump, and you're like, oh,
Right.
Well, yeah,
between me and you, girl, we're gonna bust this thing.
when they were little and cute, and they would come and jump on you, and you'd like catch them,
Yeah.
you know. And then when Lincoln started getting bigger, and he'd still jump on you with his knees, it's like, oh, that
Yeah, no.
hurts.
All of a sudden, that hurt my solar
hurts.
plexus.
Yeah. Well, last time I wrestled Brian, I was just telling you, last time I wrestled him, man, he went to push me back, and I was kind of like already going backwards, but I decided, no, I'm not going back, I'm going forward. And when I did that, something tweaked in my back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I'm like, oh, that's not gonna feel good after.
That's gonna
No,
hurt tomorrow. I'm gonna need some ibuprofen.
So I don't know. I need to learn to fall more gracefully. I'll tell you that much right now, because I don't like to go down. I try to. When you stop yourself from going down, that's when you get hurt. If you can just learn to fall gracefully, that's much better. But gentlemen, back to my scripture. I hate to keep bringing us back. No, I don't. I love to keep bringing us back to scripture.
It's kind of your job.
But back,
It's kind of your bag.
yeah, back to this scripture text. The steadfast mind you will keep in perfect peace. Tell me this. Do you guys find your mind not being steadfast because of all the media stuff right now?
Yes.
So how do you combat that? How do you guys combat that? Do you feed into it and just keep going there all the time? Do you shut stuff down? What do you do to keep your mind off of all that? Because it says here, a steadfast mind you will keep in peace, a perfect peace.
I just try to keep immersed in just doing the daily stuff I do, and trying to do all of the allowable activities I can do to stay busy and not concentrate. But like I've been waking up at like 3 o'clock in the morning every morning for like the past 2 months, so it's not just this thing.
Okay.
But you know, and then I think I'm just gonna start getting out of bed, because I was reading last night, if you have insomnia, you should get out of your bed. Otherwise, you create this psychological thing
I've heard that.
where you'll just lay there sleepless.
Well, you
and
start
that's-
worrying
it
about
becomes
it.
normal, yeah.
You just start. It's really what they're doing collectively to us as a country, right?
Right.
All they're doing is keeping our mind on this, and we're all worried about our lives and how we can avoid it. So it's a similar thing. Like
Yeah.
the country needs to get out of bed and walk around a little bit. Not that I'm advocating anything against what the government says we should do to stay isolated and away from each other.
good.
Always keep your 6 feet away from one another,
These are good
and never
PSAs.
gather more than 10.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna get a real kudos from all of that.
Oh, I think I'm gonna do
Yeah.
somebody proud today.
And in case anybody's listening to him, I think Walmart's perfectly clean.
There, perfect. There you
I
go.
think so too.
You just fixed everything.
Here's the thing. Like, I was reading from New American Standard, and so sometimes even the most literal translations are not always the best understood. But the New Living Translation says this in verse 3: "You will keep in perfect peace all who trust in you, all whose thoughts are fixed on you." So when it talks about steadfast, when I read that, for me, when you look at the idea of being steadfast, I always see that as someone who is always into Christ, always into God. So to me, that would just kind of pop out. That's how I would keep a steadfast mind. But if you read that in the New American Standard, it doesn't seem to push you into the realm that the New Living Translation does, and that is the person whose thoughts are fixed on the Lord is the one who has that peace in their mind. So let me ask you this then, boys. Have you found yourself spending more time in the Word recently since this whole thing's been going on? Or is it about the same?
I started my verse a day again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is that out of the YouVersion Bible
Yeah.
app? Cool.
That's good.
It's been very focused on not going crazy.
Huh.
It
Oh, the scripture text.
Yeah, the scriptures are all like, don't worry.
Gotcha.
I'm like, can we get scripture text for people that don't worry? That aren't worried? Maybe.
You could probably switch that.
I was thumbing through the Blue Letter Bible thing, and they've got those programs where you read the Bible in a year or whatever. But there's like, you have to choose one, and it's like a choose your own adventure. And once you choose one, if you start over, you gotta start over. Like, I started the one where you start like Genesis and Matthew, and you read like
Yeah.
a couple verses of Genesis, a couple verses. I have such a hard time because it's very hard for me to focus on where I'm supposed to be going with it.
Yeah. So you just stick in one book then?
No,
He puts the Bible down and goes outside.
No, it goes. Are you asking what I do with it, or are you asking how this program works?
No, how the program works.
Yeah, no, it just goes straight through Genesis, through the Old Testament, and
Okay.
straight through Matthew, through the New. But you do a couple verses of Old Testament, a couple verses of New Testament.
It's on a rotation.
and you're supposed to read the whole Bible in a year.
Okay, but you're saying for you, if you're reading Genesis and reading Matthew, you can't.
Yeah,
Connect.
I don't think I picked the right adventure.
Okay,
I need
gotcha.
I
to,
don't think I picked the right adventure.
I need
Well-
to try and fine tune my adventure finding.
Well, this goes to Stephen Manley's thing, is find a context and stay in that context and keep that context with you until
You get it.
until you get it,
Yeah.
until you understand it, and then you move on.
Yeah. That's
Pick a
really key.
different one.
That's so key. And I think for us today, especially as a pastor or whatever, you feel like if you don't know everything, you're not going to be good enough or you're not going to know enough. But I think we need to get back to the wisdom of God, and that is just saturating His Word, and He'll fill in all the blanks for us. And you know what? If you're not good enough in that area or you don't know enough in that area, okay, fine. You'll get there one day. But it's just like anything else. If you meditate on something, say for instance, so there's 66 books in the Bible. If you did one Bible a year, and you just meditate on the Bible the whole year, and you just kept going back through and pulling out
You mean
verses,
book?
and anything. Yeah, book.
One book a year.
Yeah, by the time you're
66 years old.
well, if you started when you were 0, yeah. But if you started when you were like 12, you'd be like, what, 78?
Right.
And you would have literally probably mastered or at least saturated in every single book of the Bible by the time you're ready to get out of here.
So when I'm 105, I'll have it.
Yeah,
I think that's perfect.
I think it's a good thing.
I like that. That's good. He goes right to spiritualism and witchcraft.
Or something I've been doing is, I think I mentioned this before in a sermon, but I've been walking through the book of Proverbs, and then I read a chapter, and I usually read that chapter a few times, like a few nights, like for maybe 3 or 4 days, I'll read that chapter. And then I find a text that really stands out to me, and then I begin to memorize that text as I'm in there. And so I'm up to like chapter 12 or something in the memorization of those texts. But now I can sit back, like I could start in chapter 1, and I could tell you the verse that I memorized there, and I can go all the way up to 12. But those verses now aren't just like memory verses to me. Like they pull out sometimes when I'm struggling with an issue. They come out from my heart and out of my mind, and I go, oh wow, that's what God's word says about that. That's what happens. So now, instead of me going like a year from now going, man, I don't have anything memorized, I at least go, hey, I got 12 verses that I don't just have memorized in my head, but they're working themselves out in my life. And I think that's what we as people don't think. We live in this microwave culture where I got to have
If it
everything
isn't
now.
instantaneously cooked up, we're not doing anything with it.
Right, and it takes time. So
Meanwhile, we let Tiger King in our minds during the week to occupy our time. And what are we able to spit out when we talk during the week? Tiger King. Yeah.
That's true.
So if we would do that with God's Word instead,
yeah.
would we spit out God's Word?
Yeah. Michael Heiser says that if you just took little bits every day, just a little bit every day, and meditated, saturated, got to know something about the Bible, just one thing, in a year you would know 365 new things. I mean, you don't think about it that way, but I mean, that's amazing. That's a lot of information to know. But most of us we don't think about it, and then we get a year from now and we go, oh man, I suck.
We don't. Well, we
I'm
don't.
horrible.
We don't. We don't do weight loss that way. We don't financially plan that way.
Right.
We don't read the Bible that way.
Yeah.
We don't like anything good for us seems to come in little bits and perseverance.
Yeah.
And like you said, microwave culture, we just want it to be instantaneous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So at our house, to just wrap all these thoughts up into one ball,
Yeah.
the scripture verse that my wife is using a lot is children, obey your parents and it will go well with you. And that gets said a lot because our children aren't obedient sometimes. And when you start to just meditate on that, because I say it to the kids, it's funny, the kids, when another child is disobeying, a child will say to another child, So it's fun, but you really do start to think about all the implications of selfishness and the merit that it has. That things will be easier for you if you just obey, because there's a reason in that instruction. And then you start to go the implications of, well, that's the Heavenly Father's instruction to you as a person. You know, like just hearing that every day, trying to beat that into the children, you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, and it goes so many different facets. And a lot of people have a hard time. I was told you I was watching David Icke, or Ike, or whatever you want to call him. And, you know, he almost like mocked the Bible, and he's like, and we're supposed to believe that all the answers are in this little book. And it's like, they are.
Yeah.
Like, you go ahead and go through there and find one that isn't and doesn't. It's like, even if you just do a verse a day and you allow it to be unpacked in your life, it's like a life raft.
Yeah.
Boom. It explodes into a bunch of other answers.
Yeah.
That out of one little verse.
Right.
Children, obey your parents and it'll go well with you. I've seen it. Like,
Right.
it just explodes in front of you. All the different implications from as an adult down to a child.
Right. Yeah, and that's why I like the idea of reading a chapter and then out of that chapter pulling a text and making that something that I memorize or I think through, and always keeping it in the context of that chapter or that book or wherever you're at, because it's really important that we don't run around with all these texts in our head that are just kind of pulled and mishmashed, because then we could misinterpret what it's saying. But at the same time, like we were talking about that, so for instance, if I take a text out and I'm so for like your parents, right? Obey your parents. So your child is learning that. But what if one day, you know, you and Corey go off the deep end and you start giving them information that's not good for them, you know? They have to know the context of all the scriptures. But that's where you as parents come in, because you don't stop with just that text.
Right.
You know, you keep going.
Right.
And that's the same thing as Christians. We got to keep going, keep moving ahead. And then all of a sudden, it starts to come together. Like Ike may be looking at something and he may say, oh, there's no answers to that. And that may be because he's only seen isolated events. When you put the whole of Scripture together, it answers every need of the human soul and the human heart.
Absolutely.
Every need.
It's everything you need to live here on earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, Carol says, why are you reading David Icke, Matt?
Oh, I watch his movies. I don't read.
Yeah. He doesn't know how to read.
No, and listen, when he does beautiful like PowerPoints.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Now,
enjoy
Carol,
his PowerPoints.
His
and shit?
PowerPoints are great because they have like lizard people in the center,
Uh-huh.
and then it talks about like the Illuminati. One of the interesting things I found about his seminar was he has this circle, and there's always the Illuminati, and there's always the what's the bottom one? I can't remember. But it all ties the lizard people. But the thing that rotates is like the church, the government, all the things, all the ruling classes that we have on earth.
Uh-huh.
Rotate out of this circle, but everything goes back to the lizard people.
Yeah. You know, Carol, I would say that Matt listens to David Icke because he's just crazy enough to have some truth in there.
Oh, no, I think you have to listen. Rat poison is 98% good food.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. You're constructing your theory on observations that we all make, that we know can be real and true and seem logical.
Yeah. And here's the thing, too. I think as Christians, I think we don't listen to the opposing side enough. I mean, I think you need to be careful, especially people who are newer Christians who would be pulled away in their faith. I think you definitely need to discourage that.
To answer that question, I guess why you're watching David Icke, I watch a lot of weird things.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I was going to say, David Icke's nothing for this guy, right?
No, that's child's play. Yeah, I study all of those things.
Well, here will become the argument, though. Okay, so you just said rat poison is 98% good food. You can't separate out. Like, you can't eat rat poison by separating out the poison and then re-eat it. So, the poison's getting into you if you're consuming the rat poison.
Ah.
No, so I guess that's the argument of why you even watch this stuff in the first place.
That's pretty deep. All right, I'll stop watching it.
No, I'm just
I won't watch it no more. You're right. You win.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's really deep.
No, it is. It's profound.
Sorry.
Good job. No,
supposed to be the.
Well,
comic
YouTube,
relief guy.
you just lost a viewer today.
I broke my brother.
You just broke Matt. He's busted.
This is good. Well, it is 11:06, and we have.
My dad says I used to bounce you both on my knee. Not now. Well, you're too far away, Dad.
I would like to see you come on live show and do that. Bounce them.
We
on
could do
your knee.
that. We'll throw on Simon and Simon.
Yep.
Yeah, and a Magnum PI. Yeah.
You guys used to watch that too?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I used to love that.
So when the intro would come on, our dad would put us on his knee and bounce us around to the song, and we would say, "Dance, Daddy, dance." Real creepy.
That is, yeah. You go to jail for that now, right?
They've ruined everything wholesome.
I know.
Everything wholesome is ruined.
Well, that's because everything is so perverted anymore that when you see something, you think it's perverted now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Carol says she agrees with you, Mitch, that you're taking in poison. Still taking in poison. Good.
Which we all do. I mean,
Yeah, right. Especially when we watch Fox News.
yeah, it's true.
No. Hey, there's a monochrome to truth to that.
Yeah.
What'd you say Steve Ducey said this morning?
What are we getting his marching orders from Dr. Fauci?
Like, give me a
What are our
break.
marching orders for the weekend?
What a bubbleheaded
Yeah.
nitwit.
What should we do now? Please tell us.
Yes,
We are
we have to be
unable to.
spoon-fed.
I am unable
Process.
to think on my own. Please tell me what to do.
Should I put bleach on my meat before I eat it or not? I think it's a bad thing, but I'm not sure.
Could you please?
Just tell me what I need to do so I can do it right
I can't wait
today.
until they lay out my outfits.
It's coming. Yeah.
I can wear the gray jumpsuit today.
Oh, my dad says, good point. When the Treasury looks for counterfeits, they study the real thing only. So he agrees with you, Mitch, and I don't think that my dad or mom will send me any more of those conspiracy theory videos from this day forward.
Oh, this is good.
Should honor thy father and mother. Just saying.
Well, boys, we have burned an hour.
An hour's gone.
And we're really glad that you have been with us. Anybody that has been a part of this conversation, we hope that you found some encouragement in it to take advantage of everything that's going on. But don't just take advantage of it now. Make sure you're making lifestyle changes that are good for you. So not just spending time with family like now, but making sure that that's something that happens on a regular basis, because God has created us to be socially interacting with one another, and that's not just with people outside, but that's with our family. The other thing is this: if you are on YouTube, go ahead and click the subscribe button and then click the bell. That way you'll get updates to different videos, because we are doing Facebook and YouTube videos throughout the week now and different things. And then on Sundays, 11 o'clock, you can join us here for our worship time and some preaching of the Word and those kind of things. And then we will eventually, Lord willing, we'll come back together as a gathering of people.
We'll have real church.
We'll have real church, which is the ecclesia, which is the gathering.
It'll have to include food.
It
will.
It usually
Some
is
sort of
best
meal.
with a breakfast buffet.
Yeah, our first day back, we'll probably try to have some kind of big breakfast buffet.
It may only include like pieces of Spam and things that store real long.
Store food.
I wonder how many pieces we could get out of a can of Vienna sausage if we start cutting them in little
Yeah.
slices.
If you turn it into a Jello mold, it goes away.
Oh, this is good stuff. But we appreciate you being a part of our time online, and we hope that some of these things are helpful to you. Don't forget, if you can't find zinc in the store, you can eat oysters. Oysters are high in zinc, 30
elderberries.
milligrams in 6, huh?
Elderberry.
Or elderberries.
Yeah, but oysters are full of mercury from all the mercury poisoning in the ocean. Fukushima water.
That's true. So then, here's where you can get your zinc from. Nuts and seeds will get you some zinc. I found out last night that my Ezekiel bread that I eat, a little bit here, a little bit there, because if I eat too much of it, it messes with me because of the gluten thing.
Right.
That's 1 milligram of zinc per piece of Ezekiel.
Oh, you only need to have 50 pieces of Ezekiel bread then.
That's it? 50?
50. Yeah, you need 50 milligrams of zinc a day.
I can't eat a loaf of that a day. My gut will hurt so bad.
Oh.
It won't be funny.
Do you have a gluten thing?
I have a gluten sensitivity. If I
Oh,
eat
I
too
thought
much
you
of
just didn't do it because of whatever.
it. No.
All right, listen.
No,
What if you
bugs
take a loaf of Ezekiel bread and you soak it in water, and then you press it so that you just drink the Ezekiel bread juice?
It's possible. You could get
Doesn't
some
that
zinc
sound
out of that.
delightful?
That does sound good.
You
Does
could
that
get
sound
some
good?
zinc. Yeah, you could get some zinc out of there. Yeah. So nuts and seeds will help you. Ezekiel bread will get you some of that. Now meat, actually, chicken and some of the dark meat chicken, I think, is higher in zinc than your regular chicken.
Yes,
So,
but it's also higher in fat.
yeah.
But
But
I'm making that for dinner tonight.
but you don't need a ton of
Chicken
it,
thighs?
you know.
Boneless chicken thighs.
Boneless
Oh my
chicken
gosh.
thighs are the best.
Really?
They're amazing.
They're delicious.
They're like
And they're
eating.
cheap.
They're dirt cheap
You
and
get
they're
like a
like
whole
eating
skid
butter.
of them for like $12.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you not caught on to this craze?
No. I'm not a dark meat person.
Oh, it's
Oh,
the best.
yeah.
Matter of
That's what other meat is there to eat?
Matter of fact, I have now gone from white meat, which is chicken, to white tofu.
Fishes. Oh.
Oh,
Now I'm
You're
now
a
I'm
soy
eating-
boy.
Now I'm a soy boy.
you're a
How
soy
do they
boy.
make white tofu?
I don't know because the soybean isn't white.
Yeah.
I wonder if they
It's
bleach
bleached.
that
They
stuff.
bleach it.
They bleach it.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me! It says organic.
Not
and
only are you a
non-GMO
soy
right there
boy,
on
but
it.
you're a bleach eater.
Oh my goodness! All right, well, either way, we want you to stay safe, be respectful to others. Obviously, but why am I telling you this?
They know
You're a
this.
big person. You know this.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to tell you: stay steadfast on the Lord.
There you go.
Stay in His Word. Get off of the screens. Get into His Word, and know Him more, because that's where you find this perfect peace that the Scriptures talk about day in and day out. And so get alone with Him and spend time doing that, individually as well as with your family.
When we live through the tribulation, you'll be strong.
You will, yeah, definitely, most definitely. Don't forget, on Sundays, 11 o'clock, you can hit us live on Facebook and YouTube. And then we're doing something new. It's called Tuesdays at 2. I'm just jumping online from home or wherever I'm at on my phone or whatever device I have. Usually I'm only on Facebook for that. I don't go to YouTube, so I apologize for that. If I can figure out a way to do both platforms at the same time, we will. But I've been just doing Facebook, and that's just kind of a short devotion and just kind of some new information to help you see what's going on or what we're doing as a church. The other thing is this. Wednesdays we have prayer, so you're going to need to let us know so that we can get information to you for a log on to get on to prayer if you want to be a part of prayer. But this coming Sunday is Palm Sunday, and so we're going to have regular worship service. But then next week starts the Passion Week. Not Passion Week, Passover Week. And so Friday we're going to have a service here. Did we say what time yet? Is it 7?
It's 7 or 8 o'clock. We're going to need to clarify.
Yeah, we're going to need to clarify, but it's probably going to be more like 7, but we'll see. But so 7
I'm
or 8.
probably going to be a 7 o'clock guy.
This is what?
Good Friday?
Oh, this is news to me.
No, we didn't invite you.
You're not invited.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll stay home.
No, are you guys doing?
We're not doing drums.
we're not doing. I guess they're not going to do drums.
It's going to be more toned down.
Yeah.
So you want the bass, is what you're saying?
Oh, you could
Possibly.
do bass. Yeah. Or I got that cajon in the back if you want to use that.
Oh,
that
the
out.
cajon.
Can
I'm
you
going to
play that
burn
this
that
week?
thing.
Huh?
Can you play that this week?
I'll play it.
No, I'm going to burn it.
Yeah,
that-
I like.
After this week, the cajon doesn't exist.
Can we put a microphone in the hole of the cajon? So I can get some volume on that bad boy. All right. So anyway, Good Friday, we're going to actually take communion together on Good Friday, and so
I wanted to know how you do that.
Okay, so it's virtual Good Friday. So we're gonna participate in communion here during part of the service. So what I want you to do at home is I want you to find some kind of bread element and some kind of wine element. And so you could use grape juice and you could use Wonder Bread.
Cheez-It?
I guess you could use a Cheez-It and Pepsi. I don't know
Ritz?
if
Ritz
that
would
would
be
work.
amazing.
Ritz would be okay.
A lot of name dropping.
That's true.
I prefer Benton's.
Benton's.
I like to
It's
do
from Aldi.
Oh,
I like to
that's
do
a good stuff. No.
Walmart brands.
Because Walmart is safe to go to.
Or
Yes.
Love and Fresh.
Love and
Love and
Fresh.
fresh,
From
yeah.
Aldi.
You could do. I actually had a pastor that said that they did online communion with somebody, and all they had was a Frito and a soda, Dr. Pepper, and they did communion with Frito and Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper cream soda. It's good
That would
stuff.
be-
And spicy hot Fritos.
Yeah. So try to have some kind of element there, and we're gonna.
Brandon
go ahead-
Westover says homemade wine.
Who
Brandon Westover.
Like toilet
says
wine?
homemade wine?
Yeah, he says toilet wine.
Hey, if you want, make sure it's not clear, because that clear wine gets you. So find some kind of bread element and some kind of wine element, and we're going to do communion together if you want to be a part of that. And we're also going to walk through the Passion of Christ as we go through that service that night. So I think it's going to be a powerful service. We've done these in the past, darkening service, but it won't be the same
obviously, because you won't be here, but we're going to do our best to do it online. And then Sunday, we're going to come back, and we're going to have virtual breakfast together.
Oh.
My boys, and I haven't talked to my boys about this, but April and I, we're going to cook breakfast here, and all of us are going to eat online at 10 o'clock with everybody else while they're making breakfast with their family and eating in their homes. Does that not sound like
Are you
fun?
going to mic up your mouth sounds?
Yeah, we're going to...
Yeah, it's good. My wife will really dig that.
I love chewing sounds. Yeah, it's really great.
So we're gonna virtually eat with
We
everybody.
just lost everybody that was watching.
We did? No, we actually gained one. It's 11 now. Oh, no, 10. Okay. So anyway, we thought that would be fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to hang out and eat together, 6 feet apart, and we're going to have fun, and we're going to laugh and talk, and they'll chime in and ask questions or make comments, and we're just going to have a virtual breakfast, and then at 11 o'clock, we're going to have worship and a message, and just like that. So we're going to try it. I don't know if it'll be any good. I don't know if you think it's crazy, and it is kind of crazy, and it might be stupid, but we're going to try it because that's just what we're going to do.
Right.
Does it sound like good?
Perfect.
All right. So does that sound good?
I love it. We're
All right.
planning a lot of cool things.
Yeah, really cool. We're the coolest.
We're the coolest tiny mega church. Mega tiny church?
Tiny mega church.
Tiny mega church.
Yeah.
I think we're a mega tiny church. Okay.
We're mega first. Or we're tiny first?
Tiny.
We're tiny first?
Tiny mega church.
We're tiny first.
Tiny mega church.
Tiny mega
All right. Are we punching out?
We're out of here. So you guys have a great week.
Have a great week.
We'll see you online.